Hello everyone and welcome to a beautiful game from the Tal Memorial of 2018. It was a Blitz game and it's a game between Daniil Dubov and Viswanathan Anand. Now if you're wondering why I'm out of the blue just showing a game between Daniil Dubov and Viswanathan Anand, it's because today FIDE published this on their Twitter profile. They said that now the commentators for the World Chess Championship match between Dingler and Yanni Pomnishi are known, and the commentators will be Viswanathan Anand, Daniil Dubov and Irina Krush. Now Anand will be commentating from game 1 to 4. Dubov will be commentating up until the last game of the match, if it's gonna go into rapids and all the way. And Irina will be commentating with both with Anand and with Daniil throughout the entire match. Now I thought, okay, that's a very interesting tweet, but then I started wondering, how many times has Dubov faced Anand? And what are their head-to-head scores? And they've only faced each other once in the 2020 Tata Steel Masters in classical time format, but they have played quite a few blitz and rapid games, and the total score is 7-1 for Daniil Dubov. And I've already shown one game between the two of them. It's from the Grand Chess Tour in 2020. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. It really features a wonderful line. It will be the first link in the description below, so maybe you want to check out that game before checking out this one, or you can check out this one and then check out that one, as both of them are quite nice. But this one, like I said, it's from the Tal Memorial 2018, and the game is particularly spectacular because of a line that was not played. And since this is a blitz game, I don't see it possible to even calculate such a line in a blitz game. But you guys are comfortable in your own homes, maybe driving a car, maybe waiting at the airport, and you will have all the time in the world to calculate such a crazy line. So let's dive straight into it. Daniil has the white pieces and he opens with pawn to c4. He starts with the English opening with e5 by Anand, knight to c3 and bishop to b4, going for the Kramnik-Shirov counterattack. Knight to d5 now attacks the bishop and pawn to a5. Black doesn't mind doubling up the b pawns, as this will open up the da file for the rook. So knight to f3, ignoring that, we have pawn to d6 and pawn to g3 now. Getting ready to fianchetto the light square bishop. We have c6 and knight goes back to e3. We have knight to f6 and now bishop to g2. Castles by both sides, and now comes rook to e8. So now you can push d5, as the e5 pawn will be nicely protected. d4, Daniil strikes in the center, e captures on d4, knight captures on d4, and now there is a game where knight b to d7 was played, but here we have knight to a6, and it is now, as of move 10, that we have a completely new game. So okay, this here knight looks a little bit weird, so Daniil has to figure out a way how to improve the position of his knight, and then maybe do something about the e2 pawn. Knight e back to c2 now puts pressure on the bishop, bishop to c5, and now pawn to b3. Now the bishop can be shifted over to this beautiful diagonal. Knight to b4 and now bishop to b2. We have bishop to g4 by Anand, making it hard for Daniil to advance his e-pawn, and now just bringing the knight back to e3. Knight to e3 goes after the bishop, bishop to h5, and now pawn to a3, kicking away the knight. Knight to a6, and now knight d to f5. It's a beautiful square for the knight, and also puts constant pressure on that g7 pawn. If the knight moves, you're gonna lose that g7 pawn. So bishop to g6, it's a very nice defender, and also Anand's bishop pair is now most certainly fully operational. And here it's very hard to find a move for Daniil. If you ask the engine will give you some weird moves like queen to e1, you should play this, or bishop to f3, or bishop to h3. Okay, maybe there are moves you consider, but to play them in a blitz game, not very likely. So Daniil goes for a move that you would expect from Daniil, and that is knight captures on g7. He opens up the attack, now opens up this diagonal, and you know that now Anand will have to defend for a very long time. So okay, king captures on g7, and now knight to g4, continuing to put pressure on that f6 knight, and now just rook to e6. Anand defends. You could also defend with rook to e5, probably even a little bit better, because now you're kind of forcing white to recapture immediately. By playing rook to e6, you're allowing Dubov to improve his game a little bit. So here he starts with b4. Dubov always plays b4. If you allow it, he will find it and he will play it. And here it is a great move. A captures on b4. A captures on b4, and now knight captures on b4. Bishop captures on b4 is also very nice. The idea was after bishop b4, queen b3, we'll put pressure on b7. For example, bishop goes back, you're going to trade once on f6, rook captures, and now queen captures on b7, having pressure along this diagonal, and also putting pressure on the knight on a6. So probably rook to a7, the only good move for black. You're going to move the queen back, and the game continues. It's a really wild position, especially for blitz. So after a captures on b4, Anand instead went for knight captures on b4, and now rook captures on a8. We have queen captures on a8, and now Dubov plays this tricky queen to d2 move. Now, sort of eyeing that h6 square, but now the question is, how do you defend this with black? Can you find a move for Anand here that actually holds the position? It's not easy, and I believe it is impossible to play such a move in a blitz game. So feel free to pause the video and try to find a defensive resource for Anand while I give you a couple of seconds and enjoy this magical line. So for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting this. I don't think we've had such a complicated line ever. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it is queen to d8. Certainly a move a lot of you have considered, but what happens next is, if you consider that, then you are truly a grandmaster material, maybe even super grandmaster material. Queen to h6 with check. What happens after queen to h6 with check? Well, the problem is king to g8, knight captures on f6 with check, rook captures on f6, and now the question is, why did we do this? Why is white even trying this? Because white is now down a piece. White is down a full knight. The point is pawn to g4, and how are you defending against pawn to g5? You will not be able to move the rook because queen to g7 will be checkmate. This is how you do it. Knight to c2. An odd move to play in expectance of g5 to happen, but that's exactly what you have to do. Pawn to g5, and it seems like it's all over. You're going to lose the rook, bishop captures, then you're going to get checkmated, or if you move the rook, then queen g7 is checkmate right away. This is the move that was hard to find when you spotted queen to d8, and that is bishop to e3. Now, it looks like a terrible move. It's like, you know, you just spit in someone's face, this bishop to e3 move. But if you look at it, you cannot play pawn captures on f6 because bishop captures on h6. On the other hand, if you play f captures on e3, then the rook can now move because rook captures on f1 comes with tempo. Rook captures on f1 check, and after bishop or king captures, you will play queen to f8, again defending checkmate, and you have avoided a disaster. Sorry, not that. So what you would have to do after this bishop to e3 move is play something like bishop to f3. Now you are threatening to capture the bishop because rook will not be able to capture rook. There's a bishop in between. But now you play knight to d4. You block the bishop, and again the rook can move, and you cannot capture the rook because of bishop captures on h6. But okay, now you play f captures on e3. This is now possible. But now you play rook captures on f3. Again, moving the rook is possible because the bishop is blocked. Now rook captures on f3, and knight captures on f3 with check. E captures on f3, and now queen to f8. You defend against checkmate. It's equal material, and while your position is a little bit difficult to play, you should be able to survive and not get checkmated, and probably draw the game. So that was definitely in the position, and this is why the game is so spectacular. But Anand did not find it. He played king to f8, and now Dubov just goes all out here. Knight captures on f6. You cannot recapture because the bishop defends. We have queen to d8. Interestingly, Anand plays it, but only on the second move, and now queen to h6 with check. King to e7, and now bishop to f3. Bishop to h3 also possible. For some reason, Dubov prefers to play bishop f3 to g4. Knight to c2, and now we have queen to h4, threatening all sorts of nasty discoveries here, and you can't really move the king. If you play king to f8, then we're going to capture on h7. Now the queen is hanging, so you have to go back. Then the knight returns, knight to f6 with check, king to f8, and bishop to g4, which was the plan all along. So Anand instead went for queen to a5. He moves the queen away, so now he might be able to escape to the queen side via the d8 square, but now knight captures on h7 with check, not allowing this, and also you can't really go to d7 because of knight to f8 check connects nicely with the rook here. So king to e8 was played, but now just knight to f6 with check, king to d8, and now bishop to g4, going after the rook, and the rook has no no squares here. We have king to c7 trying to escape, but now just bishop captures on e6. We have f captures on e6 and queen to h6, and he was in this position on move 31 that Viswanathan Anand resigned in the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. Once you save the bishop, your bishop is attacked, just let's say pawn to g4, and if let's say queen to b4 goes after the bishop, you're just gonna captures and captures, and you are down the exchange, and also you have the to worry about the passed e-pawn. The black king is wide in the open, and all of black's forces are on the queen side. The king is safe on g1 on the king side, so there's really no way of even putting pressure on white's position here. So that's why Anand resigned after queen to h6, and another great victory for Daniil Dubov. But this line here that we've discussed, if Anand found the queen to d8 move that actually holds this position, is definitely one of the craziest lines I've seen in a while, and we've seen a couple of crazy lines in the past month. So yeah, like I said, if you haven't seen the one from the Croatian Grand Chester between Daniil and Anand, it's really a remarkable game. Do check it out. First link in the description below. I'm sure you guys will enjoy that as well. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that little bit of info about the commentating team during the World Chess Championship match in Astana, Kazakhstan between Dingliren and Yanni Pomnishi. Should be a wild one. Even though I can't really remember, but for the last few World Chess Championship matches, Judith Polgar was doing the commenting. Now she isn't. I have no idea why that is. Maybe she just declined, or maybe they didn't invite her. Once I learn, I'm definitely gonna inform you of this. But no doubt, Irina Krush will do a wonderful job, as you've seen how strong she is in the American Cup, that she won without losing a single classical game. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As I've been told, you guys always enjoy a nice Dubov game. I would like to wish a very happy birthday to Nishad, who turns 9 today. Hope you have a great day, and this is the perfect age to start studying the endgame. And I would like to thank Henry Spraggins, Richard Karp, Laurent Andre Giannesini, and Ravishing Reptiles YouTube for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. Thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.